Hi, this is Josh Wander from Jewish Preppers. Today I'd like to focus on some non-lethal self-defense. It's something which is very common here in the United States. It's pepper spray, or its variants. And I'd like to go through the differences between those variants because many people aren't familiar with them. The first thing that most people are familiar with is your normal pepper spray. Now, pepper spray is a powerful, non-lethal self-defense method. And it's something which every prepper should have. I think that everybody should have. My kids carry it around. It's something that people should learn how to use. And it's important to know how to use it because if misused, it could be used against you. A lot of times it contains OC, it contains peppers, the ingredients for pepper spray. It includes also many times, especially the law enforcement grade ones like this one, include an ultraviolet dye. You can't see that except under an ultraviolet light, but it's used to be able to identify, even if you try to wash it off, it doesn't wash off for several days. And it's used to identify assailants after a crime. Now, the advantage of spray and the usefulness of a spray is primarily for outdoors. If you're outside and you're worried about an attack, this is a great thing to have along with you, whether it be in your purse, in your pocket, and especially these kinds, which I prefer personally, which open up the safety is a little. It pulls up on top through a spring, and you put your thumb in it, and this way, if you're fiddling with it in your pocket, the ones that just have the circle top, and if you accidentally spray it the wrong way, you know what will happen. So this way, even if you're fiddling with it at night and you don't see which side's which, you only can spray it one direction. As soon as you have your thumb pushing up the safety and you push down, it's going to spray. Now, sprays will work depending on the spray. They say between 10-15 feet. Usually you're not going to even have to shoot it that far, but that's a pretty good distance for a non-lethal self-defense. Again, this is used primarily outside, and the reason is because once you spray this spray, it's a stream, it's going to hit not only the person that you're shooting at, but the vapor actually spreads, and it's used not only for the eyes, which is where you're going to be aiming at, but it's also used for the skin as an irritant, as well as the vapor goes into the person's nose and will cause him to stop breathing for a little bit, and which is never a pleasant thing. So this is great, but it will affect what's called cross effect. It will have an effect on the other people that are around this person. So let's say you were to fire this inside of a car. So not only would it affect the person you're spraying it at, but it probably would affect everyone inside the car. And for that, they've come up with two other versions which you should be familiar with. The first is something called a pepper gel. Now, a pepper gel is an ingenious new idea, which is, it looks like a liquid, actually, when you spray it. But it's a gel. And what happens is, it works again as an irritant for the skin, and it works again for an irritant for the eyes. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't have a vapor. That means it will not affect a person's breathing. When you spray this at a person, and this sprays even further than the stream, it'll spray maybe 15-20 feet. When you spray this, it will hit your assailant and it will not affect anybody else around. So if you're in a closed area, and that's what this is particularly good for, if you're in a closed area and you're spraying a person, it's going to only affect the person that gets hit, not the people that are around. And the same thing is with a third product, which is called pepper foam. Pepper foam doesn't spray as far. It only sprays about 10 feet. But the advantage of pepper foam is it spreads. So you're able to spray this at the face of your assailant, and it will cover up very quickly the entire face. And it's very effective. All three of these products are extremely effective. The pepper foam, the pepper gel, and the common spray. Again, depending on what you're going to use it for, some of them spray further, some of them spread out, some of them are good for indoors, some of them are good for outdoors. These are all great products to have for the prepper For everyday use, and definitely for an emergency situation, you're not always going to want to fire a gun. Firearms are not the answer to everything, not in normal times and not in a role situation. There are times when you're going to want to use these. And by the way, I should mention, these are just two sizes that they come in here. This is a 2 ounce, I believe this one is closer to a 4 ounce. They also come in much larger sizes. They come in very large canisters, which I don't have one here to demonstrate right now, but they come in a large canister that can be used for riot control, and it's used by law enforcement for riot control. Those will shoot even further. Those can shoot between 25 and 35 feet. So you have a great range with those. They can control lots of people at one time. You can spray it back and forth. These are all great tools to have. Now, there are other non-lethal devices that we'll go over, but for today, we have, again, the pepper stream, the pepper gel, and the pepper foam. Thank you for watching. This has been Jewish Prepper.